to the lesson. Okay, thank you very much. All right, so let's look at this image. Excellence and mediocrity. Excellence and mediocrity. Let's look at the direction of the arrows. One is going forward, one is going backward. Let me get one response. What direction would you choose? Are you going forward? Are you going backward? Are you turning towards the direction of excellence? Are you turning towards the direction of mediocrity? No, I said earlier, excellence or mediocrity is a choice. It is not something that, like a magic wand will be tossed over somebody's head and then the person automatically becomes excellent or becomes mediocre. It is a choice. It is a choice, in one of the classes of philosophy, you will get to know that the human being is born with a clean heart. We call it tabula rasa, right? So it means that at birth, your mind is bare. You have neither, you're amoral, you're neither good or bad. So as you begin to interact with nature, with humans, you begin to develop habits, you begin to develop patterns, you begin to develop um, culture. And it is as a result of the exposure that you have that will determine your state of morality or otherwise. So this same thing applies to excellence or mediocrity. You are either excellent by choice or you are either mediocre by choice. So look at the person standing and looking at these signposts, excellence or mediocrity. And I said, you have to make a choice. Make a choice. Are you choosing excellence? Are you choosing mediocrity? Let's find out as we proceed. Okay, so getting into the introduction, I'd like to take my introduction from the Bible. Colossians chapter 3, verse 23 says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters. Now that brings me to ask a question. If you are going to stand before God, the being that you serve, and give an account of your work, would you be rated high or would you be scored less? If you are going to face a panel, if you are going to face a judgment seat, or you are brought before significant people and asked to give an account of your work, what would be your rating? Now, let's bring it a little closer. In your workplace, in your office, in your church, in your organization, if you are going to be rated for the work that you do daily, if you are supposed to resume by 9 a.m. and close by 5 p.m., and then at 4:55, your boss calls you into the office and asks you to give an account of your activities for the day, what do you think you will be scored? I want you to ponder on that. So when the Bible says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human master, it's saying that every task that has been committed to you, whether formal or informal, whether deliberate, whether conscious, direct or indirect, do it as if your life depends on it. Do it as if you will be rewarded instantly. Do it as if you will be scored, you will be rated instantly. If you are going to an embassy, you have a visa appointment to catch, to fulfill, how would you prepare? How would you dress? How would you sound when you go for that interview? Will you do it shabbily? Would you do it anyhow? I want you to ponder on these things, right? So now bring that mindset into your work, into your studies, into your job, into your business, into your academics, into your organization, right? The kind of mindset you have if you are going to have an embassy invitation for a visa application, can you apply that same mindset with your job? Can you apply that same mindset in your relationships? Can you apply that same mindset in your business? People go take their business and then treat it anyhow. Some people treat their job anyhow. They feel like they're not being paid enough. Okay, I want to tell you something. There's nobody that's paid enough and that's going to be paid enough in this world, no matter how good or skilled you are. There will always be something uh, extra that you desire. But that shouldn't mean that you should deliver par service. That shouldn't mean that you should deliver below standard service. Okay, I hope I'm communicating. That shouldn't mean that you should deliver below par service. So whatever you do, now excellence comes with this mindset. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart. Do it as if you are going to be rewarded instantly. And I'm sure nobody wants a negative feedback. I'm sure nobody wants a below par feedback. I'm sure nobody wants a -1 or a 0 rating. Okay, now let's go to the next slide. Next slide is a quote attributed to Aristotle, who says, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit." So it means that excellence comes through repetition. Excellence comes through repetition. Have you seen a musical crew? Have you seen a stage play act? Have you seen professionals who you so admire their work? They did not um, they did not become such masterful at their craft overnight. Behind such excellent displays, behind such excellence production are hours, days, weeks, and months of repetition, of practice, of constantly honing and perfecting their skills. So that 10 minutes, 15 minutes delivery that you see is a subject of repetition. So excellence is born through repetition. My generation, your generation, the Gen Z generation looks like we want a quick fix. We are not given to repetition. We just want to hit something once and assume that will be perfect. No, the saying that practice makes perfect is not an illusion. Okay, it means that everyone who throws a perfect shot, who hits the ball perfectly, has had tons and tons of hours of repetition of doing the same thing. Are you with me? Are you with me? Okay, so everyone that you admire, please, if you are following, just give me a response in the chat box. Okay, right. So everyone that you see that is excellent in their craft, that you admire, think of somebody. Yes, thank you very much. Think of somebody that you like in whatever field. Who crossed your mind? Is it in sports? Is it in music? Is it in is it in ministry? Is it in academics? Is it in your field? Is it in your course of study? Think of anybody. Yes, that person that's coming to your mind. You see the way the person delivers such activity excellently, and you admire it. If you sit the person down, ask the person to tell you how come they have been so good at doing that, the person, if they are sincere enough, will tell you that they have put in hours and hours and hours of practice, of constance. There's also something called the 10,000 hour rule, right? It means that for everything you must have put in, for every excellent act, there must have been 10,000 hours of practice, 10,000 hours of repetition. Now, it may not be literally 10,000 hours, it means that you have put in magnanimous amount of time in developing that craft. So when Aristotle was talking about and said, we are what we repeatedly do, excellence then is not an act, but a habit. So it means that excellence is formed through repetition, through repetition. And there's a saying, there is a proverb, a quote that says that what you what you say becomes your thought. What you what you think about becomes your act. What you act becomes a habit. Then your habit becomes a lifestyle. Then from a lifestyle becomes a culture. So you see there's a series, there's a progression. What you see, what you say, what you hear will form your thought pattern. What your thought pattern your thought pattern will form with the activities that you do. And once you begin to do something, it becomes a habit. And as a habit is repeated, it becomes a lifestyle, it becomes a character. And as character is formed, it becomes a culture, right? So excellence has a progression. Okay. So now that brings us to the next point, next slide. What is mediocrity? What is mediocrity? It looks as if it's a big word, But maybe some of us may not relate with it in terms of the word, but we can relate with it in terms of actions that we see around us. I want to show us some pictures, and before we get back to it, can you see these two images? Yes, which is better? Which is which is bad? Yes, the first or the second one. Let me see our responses. Before we get to, as we are talking about mediocrity, look at these two images. What do you see? The same intention, right? But the delivery tells us something else, isn't it? Yes, the second one, you are choosing the second one. Why would you choose the second one? Yes, because you want to look good, because you want to feel confident, because of the aesthetics, because of the presentation, right? One or two more. Why didn't you choose the first one? Because it doesn't align, right? Okay. Okay, look at this also. If you were to give somebody a contract, right, to develop or design this kind of bridge or this kind of house, this kind of platform for you, who would you give? The first one or the second one? The first one or the second one? I'm just trying to give us, yes, thank you very much, second one. I'm just trying to give us graphical examples of what mediocrity and excellence looks like. Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's go back to thank you very much, Anoluapo. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's go back to what mediocrity is. Mediocrity means to deliver inferior or substandard results. Mediocrity means to deliver inferior or substandard results. Mediocrity means to deliver, I'm saying it again, to deliver inferior or substandard results. Now, it means that for every substandard product you see, there is a benchmark of excellence that people did not attain. Okay, there is a benchmark that people did not attain. For every building that cracked or fell down during construction, there is a benchmark of excellence that was not followed. For every, professional that didn't deliver or that deliver subpar results, it means that there is a threshold of excellence that they did not attain, they did not, get to. So mediocrity means to deliver inferior or substandard results. You must have seen the trend online, what I ordered versus what I got. Okay, so it means that there is a standard. Are you following me? Can you hear me? It means that there is a standard that somebody wanted, but somebody couldn't deliver. Okay, that is where mediocrity comes in. It means that there is a benchmark for excellence that somebody wanted, but somebody couldn't deliver it. So mediocrity means to deliver inferior or substandard results. What again is another definition of mediocrity? Mediocrity means to accept inferior or substandard quality, either on a good or any service. It means to accept inferior or substandard quality, either on a good or any service. So it is not just in the delivery of substandard results. It also implies the acceptance of such substandard quality. Are you following me? So mediocrity is not just to deliver inferior substandard results. It also means to accept it. So if you give somebody a job or a responsibility and the person does not deliver what you wanted, and then you accepted it like that, it means that you have reinforced and promoted mediocrity. Do you get my point? If you give somebody a job, right, and the person, you gave somebody a job, you have a standard in mind, you have a benchmark in mind, okay, and the person does not deliver up to the standard that you want, and you accepted it, it means that you have promoted mediocrity, you have reinforced mediocrity. For example, if the cutoff mark for JAM is 280 and the student scores 200 and an institution accepts that student and grants them admission on that fact, it means that that institution has reinforced mediocrity. Is somebody getting my point? Somebody getting my point? Okay. So if somebody is supposed to gain admission with a cutoff mark of 280 and the person got 200 and the institution, the awarding institution, granted that person admission on the 200 score line, it means that that institution has reinforced mediocrity. So mediocrity is not just in the deliverer, it is also with the receiver. So I want to challenge you, I want to challenge us in this class not to deliver inferior substandard results and not to accept it. Because the moment you accept substandard products, substandard results, it means that you have given the person who delivered that activity the license to do it again. Maybe not for you, but for somebody else. And then you are promoting a mindset, the culture of mediocrity, and you are making it look as an acceptable standard. Is that understood? Is that clear? All right. I hope that is clear enough. Right. So it is both ways. It is both. If you pay for a service, for example, let me use practical examples. The network service providers in our country for some time has been bad. The network has not been the best. So it means that there is an acceptable standard that they ought to deliver. But they are failing, that means that they are delivering what? Mediocre standards. And now, on the receiving part, we as people are accepting it as a normal. There is a time, or I think it's even still common in our nation, in Nigeria, that we ought to have electricity for a certain number of hours. But then the producing company and the distribution company of electricity, the discos and the likes, are giving us less than what they ought to deliver. And we are accepting it. So it means that they are churning out mediocre service and we are reinforcing it by accepting such standard. I hope that point drives home, that example drives home this point. So mediocrity is both ways. The person that delivers the inferior substandard results, the person that accepts the inferior substandard result, whether on a good or any service. So this is just to, open up our hearts, open our minds to do it. Okay. And the next slide, I think I've already explained this point. So let me just read it through. It takes acceptance of mediocrity for it to thrive. Okay. If you accept mediocrity the first time, be ready to accept it the second time because you have reinforced it. You have given the person that gave out that service, that act, the license to do it again. You have encouraged them to do it again. So once you accept mediocrity at any point, in any form or at any level, you automatically reinforce it as a norm. You make mediocrity a standard. Once you accept it, you have lowered the bar significantly by accepting mediocrity. Mediocrity thrives because there are people willing to accept it. Mediocrity thrives because there are people willing to accept it. So you will continue to see mediocre results because there is somebody out there who is willing to buy it, who is willing to sponsor it, who is willing to reinforce it, who accepts it, who is pleased about it. And that is one challenge we are trying to solve, we are trying to address with this class to make sure to make us come to a consciousness that we shouldn't give out mediocrity and we shouldn't accept it. Because once you reject mediocrity, you are doing both yourself if it's a good service and the other party a favor, because you are telling them that this is not acceptable and they should acquire skill, they should grow and develop themselves to the point of what? Delivering excellence. All right. So we've seen this slide. The the person that accepted the first haircut reinforced mediocrity. The person that did the first haircut accepted, delivered mediocrity. And the person, the customer that accepted it was reinforced it. So if another client comes and requests for the same kind of hairstyle from the same vendor that delivered it, because the first person has accepted it, the person will think it is the norm, it is okay. So he or she can also we also repeat such kind of thing for another client and then extend the chain and the cycle of mediocrity. Same goes for this slide as well. Okay, so what is the cost of mediocrity? I hope I still have somebody in this class. What is the cost of mediocrity? What is the cost of mediocrity? The cost of mediocrity is far greater than the effort required to pursue excellence. The cost of mediocrity is far greater than the effort required to produce excellence. Now, take a look at this image. Take a look at this image. The first image is subpar, substandard. Look at the second image. The delivery was okay. It means that this job has been done as required. Now, the cost of mediocrity in the first slide means that the person that delivered this job in a working society might lose their license to construct. Okay, they will lose money, they will lose time, and possibly there will be loss of life in this kind of incident, in this kind of scenario. And then to correct it, you have to demolish this entire structure or parts of the structure to rebuild it. Whereas the amount of time, effort, money, expended, wasted, spent in delivering this shabby work and trying to remodify it, it will not be up to the amount taken to generate excellence in this second slide, in this second image. I don't know if you understood that point. Can I get a response if you understood that point? Okay, I think I just got a comment. That means mediocrity is systematic and has been ignorantly, though sincerely promoted. Yes, thank you. And that's a very good observation. Mediocrity is systematic. So it is first, we'll get to that. It is systematic and ignorantly being promoted. If you get to see a standard, a working standard in another place, and you fail to replicate it, only to deliver a lower standard, you are reinforcing it through systems. If the standard of production for the purity of water is 99%, and then another industry comes to produce 90%, and it continues, it means that it has been reinforced. The standard has been dropped, the standard has been lowered, and then it begins to thrive, begins to become institutionalized. Okay, so we are looking at the cost of mediocrity. So I'm saying that the cost of mediocrity is far greater than the effort required to pursue excellence. Okay, I have a table next, and I'm looking at the cost of mediocrity. So, but before then, let me explain again this. If a student is supposed to maybe study for 1 hour every day and then pass the exams when time comes, but they are lazing about and wasting time, and eventually the time for exam comes, they fail woefully, then they have to take a receipt in another year, you know that they have lost much more than what they ought to lose if they had passed their exam the first time. It means that they have lost time, they have lost energy. The period with which they are going to use to rewrite the exam, they will have used it to do something else that will have added value to their life and taken them to another step. But because they were mediocre in the previous time, they lose time, they lose money, they lose connection, they lose relationship, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's look at the cost of mediocrity. I think I have a comment. I also observe that when someone is exceptional in his work, the person is viewed as being too critical, proud, or showing off. Yes, that's the cultural thing, okay, we have seen in our society, because mediocrity has now been seen as the new standard. When you're not trying to raise the bar, you are seen as doing eye service, you are seen as, doing too much. Whereas people are doing less than normal, less than expected. And it now looks as if that is the best, not knowing that that is so subpar. And, yeah, so that is the challenge we are trying to solve with this kind of class, where it has been observed so much in our society that mediocrity is now seen as a standard. So when you that have been exposed to a quality stuff comes around and start doing things as they ought to be, you are seen as a threat. You are seen as as showing off. You are seen as doing too much. Thank you very much for that observation. So now back to the lesson. The cost of mediocrity in order of severity from the least to the most severe cost. Now in my list, money is the least. Money is the lowest cost of mediocrity, because money, you can easily recover money, right? I have money, you can easily recover money. Money is the least thing you lose when you churn out mediocre results. The next to it is time. You can replace time. These days of faster, we have faster technologies, right? So you can, if you are going to take 1 hour to deliver a project with artificial intelligence and other emerging technologies, you can reduce the time to half the time to 30 minutes, 25 minutes. Okay, so time can easily be recovered depending on the use of technology, but it takes money to do that. Or if somebody had done a bad job initially, and for you to recover lost time, you can now double the labor or the manpower required to deliver the job, so you'll be able to meet up with deadline. Okay, so another in ascending order of severity, the next thing, the third most severe uh, cost of mediocrity is relationships. If you deliver mediocre results, you are going to lose good relationships, and then you may not know that you have lost good relationships until it's time for you to get a recommendation, because people will not stick their name and their reputation for somebody that always delivers mediocre results. I don't know if you understand. People will not stick their name, their image, their brand. They don't. Nobody wants to be associated with somebody that delivers subpar results. There's a saying that success has many friends, but failure is an orphan, right? So mediocre results, mediocrity will make you to lose relationships, reliable relationship, and that is not a good thing. Number next thing, higher cost of mediocrity that you pay is trust. You lose trust. Trust is a currency. Once it is lost, it is difficult to regain. Once it is lost, it is difficult to regain. People say that trust is like an eggshell. Once it is cracked, once it is broken, it can never be restored to its original form. So mediocrity costs you trust. Nobody wants to be identified with you. Nobody wants to attach themselves with you. Nobody wants to, you know, be associated with you, because they don't trust your judgment. They don't trust your delivery. They don't trust your word. They don't trust that you will deliver as you said, because you have failed them before. So nobody trusts that you're going to deliver anything good again. And lastly, the most severe thing you are going to lose, that mediocrity is going to cost you, is your reputation. The Bible says a good name. Okay, sorry about that. I had a little um I had a call coming to interrupt, disrupt the class. Okay, let's get back to where we were. We're looking at the cost of mediocrity. All right, so I was saying that mediocrity is going to cost you your reputation, and nobody wants to be associated with somebody who has a deficiency in their activities. Okay, so reputation means that you have lost a good name, you have lost your um your image, you have lost your brand image, you have lost your perception. People are now seeing you in a negative light, and nobody wants to associate with you anymore. So the cost of mediocrity is quite greater than what it costs to produce excellence. If you have delivered excellence the first time, you won't need to be stressing and worrying your head over trying to make amends for subsequent deliveries. Okay, are we still together? All right, thank you. So the cost of mediocrity from the least severe to the most severe is money, then time, then relationships, then trusts, then reputation. And I think I've explained that for our, understanding. Okay, let's do a quick discussion. I would like one or two persons to give us their understanding about this. Is mediocrity a skill or character issue? I want us to discuss. Let me hear from us. This is almost 1 hour or thereabout of this class. Okay, let me hear from one of please kindly raise your hand so I can tell you, so you can speak to us. Is mediocrity a skill or character issue? Is mediocrity a skill or character issue? I want us to discuss. I want us to have maybe a 5-10 minutes chat before we proceed to the second part of this class. Okay, let's talk about this. Ladies and gentlemen, please. Yes, I'm waiting for our hands. I'm waiting for our responses. Is mediocrity a skill or character issue? Going by what I've explained so far during the first part of this class. After this icebreaker, I'll go to the second and final part of this class. Okay, are you unmute yourself to explain why Mr. Olabanjo, Mr. Oladuni? I just want us to have an interaction, if that's okay. One or two, three persons share their thoughts, so we can have an open ended based on what we've discussed so far. Is mediocrity a skill or character issue? Our Banjo says a character issue. Does anybody else agree? Okay. Mr. Samuel says it is an attitude and mindset problem. So it's still, we are still saying it's a character issue. Okay. Can we have ladies? Do we have anyone who can tell us? Two people have said the same thing. Do we have any objection? Is mediocrity a skill or character? I wish you can explain further. Maybe you can give us an example of why you think it is a character, a skill, a mindset issue by using the audio feature if that's possible. But if not, we can proceed. But let me see if there are contrary opinions. Is mediocrity a skill? Okay, I think somebody wants to speak.
Hello? Can you hear me? I think it's
Yes, yes.
a character issue.
It's a character. Can you explain why you said so?
Sorry, where I am, there is noise here. That's why I mute my mic.
When the guy first shout, say,
Thank you for your attention.
after the guy don't see our shout will
Can we get somebody else? Is mediocrity a skill or character issue? I've seen three responses. Is there any contrary response apart from the ones we've already had? Is there any contrary response or opinion? Okay, you can drop it in the chat if you are unable to talk. Can we see? All right. We still have 4 minutes for us to have this discussion. So let me see. Maybe we are putting our thoughts together. We are trying to find a convenient place to talk or type. Let me wait. Is mediocrity a skill or character issue? 3 persons have told us it's a character issue, mindset, attitude issue. So mediocrity is a character issue. Thank you. Because it's done repeatedly to form a habit which later becomes character. Thank you. It's a character issue because it's done repeatedly. It's done repeatedly to form a habit which later becomes character. Thank you very much for that response. Well, for me, it's an attitude and mindset problem. Okay. Thank you very much. I still have 3 minutes to take this discussion class. Still have 3 minutes to take this discussion class. Is mediocrity a skill or character issue? Is mediocrity a skill, character issue? Okay, thank you everyone for your response and contribution. So let's quickly move on. I believe, this is my opinion, I believe that mediocrity is both a skill and a character issue. I believe that mediocrity is both a skill and a character issue. Why did I say so? First of all, skill requires training. So if you are not trained to do a job properly, you will only produce below par results. I hope you understand. If you are not trained, if you have not subjected yourself to training, proper and right training, you will not produce good results. And that is where skill comes from. The Bible says, see that a man skilled, diligent, skilled in his business. Now, it means that somebody has taken pain, taken time to learn, to study, to acquire skills, certifications, and become better at what they are doing if before they can be able to produce excellent results. So if you have not been trained, right? If you have not been trained, you don't have any form of training. Let's say to use to put a syringe in or a cannula in a patient's vein. You will do it anyhow. There is a skill for it. Okay? You have to be trained. If you have not subjected yourself to training, you will produce subpar results. And that is where skill comes in. Now, in the character aspect, is now when you have been trained, okay, but you still refuse to produce quality results. I don't know if you understand. You know that some people can do this job, but until they are threatened, they will not do it well. Have you encountered such kind of people before? You know that this person knows what they are doing. No, where people intentionally or deliberately give shabby results, you know. And there's also another factor where the character issue comes in, character flaw comes in, where the amount of money you pay determines the kind of service that you get. Have you seen such a thing before? Can I get a response to that? The amount of money you pay determines the kind of service that you get from the same person on the same task, on the same job. Do you understand? That is the character aspect. Yes, I think I've seen another response. Mediocrity is a character issue because it deals with I won't pay the price, and mediocrity is a skill issue because it deals with I don't know how to. Thank you. We have said it all. Manu Luakpo. Thank you very much. That's what I'm trying to explain. That mediocrity is both a character and a skill issue. Right? Mediocrity is both a character and a skill issue. So as I said, the skill part is where somebody has not been trained. So that means therefore they are delivering subpar results, below standard results. And character is when you know the work, you know the job, but you are intentionally delivering subpar results. Maybe because you don't like the face of the client, or maybe the person is not paying what you think, what you expect, what you think you deserve to earn. For example, in industries, people say that they don't pay them well. So they just do their job anyhow, right? Even though they know how to do it well, because they feel that they are not being paid properly, they're not being paid what they think they should get. Therefore, they will just do the job shabbily, do it anyhow, regardless of whose ox is God, regardless of the outcomes. Whereas if you give them a little tip, an extra tip, they will go above and beyond to deliver the same service. That is where the character issue comes in. I hope that explanation gets it. Do we agree with my explanations on that? So I said, mediocrity is both a skill and a character issue. Thank you very much, everyone, for your response on that, and it's quite appreciated. Okay, so mediocrity is both a skill and a character issue. So first of all, let's get the skill. Whatever you need to learn in your field, in your job, in your ministry, in your career, pay the price, subject yourself to training, acquire the skill. And then after you've acquired the skill, ensure that you add character to it. Don't deliver subpar results to any client because you think they cannot pay well. Let your standard be your standard across all levels, across all your clients, across every organization, every position you find yourself, because you never know how that your skill, how that your delivery will open doors and access for you. Okay. All right. So let's get on with the class. This is the second part of the class. Mediocrity is a choice, the same way that excellence is a choice, and that is where the character issue comes in, if you just discussed some moments ago. So you can choose to be mediocre and you can choose to be excellent. It all depends on you. I mean, the choice of choosing to be excellent means that you are willing to pay the price, make the sacrifice to learn and acquire skills, as well as put on modest character to deliver excellent results. And if you think that you don't need to acquire more skills, you're okay with what you are, and you keep delivering subpar results, that's also the choice by you as well to remain the way you are. So that takes us to second part of this lesson. What is excellence? So in an ideal way, I'll just say mirror the definition of mediocrity and then just flip it and then you get a definition of excellence. So what is excellence? Excellence is the ability to deliver good quality service repeatedly. Now note that repeatedly is in bold fonts. Excellence is the ability to deliver good quality service repeatedly. So it's not that you do it once and you're not able to replicate it. It means that if you deliver good quality service in Nigeria and that service is demanded in Ghana, when you go to Ghana, you should still be able to deliver that same quality. If you still get to Canada, you should deliver that same quality. If you get to South Africa, you should deliver that same quality. If you get to Ethiopia, you should deliver that same quality. So you don't just deliver good quality service in Nigeria and are unable to replicate it elsewhere. So that is where excellence is. Excellence is the ability to deliver good quality service repeatedly. I don't know if I can how best I can stretch it to understand it. Deliver good quality service repeated. Have you given somebody a job to do and they wowed you the first time, then next time you give them a job to do, they start giving excuses? That is not excellence. That is not excellence. You can have the skill, but if you don't have the character to repeat it, then that is not excellence. It means to deliver quality repeatedly. Okay, do it repeatedly. You know, if somebody tells you that they deliver their job on time and then you give them a job and the first time they deliver before the expected date, you give them the second time, they deliver the first second time, and by the third time you give them a job, they're delivering 2 days later, 3 days later, and then you ask them why, and they're telling you excuses, there's no light, there is bad road, they were coughing, they were stooling. That is not excellence. Excellence is in the repetition of quality. You see, when you interact with industries, one of the things that will make you to be certified by international bodies like ISO, SON, if you're industry affiliated, you might understand what I'm trying to say. You will realize, you will discover that, or you agree with me that it is in the repetition of excellence across all production lines that makes an organization to be certified. So it's not that you produce according to quality standard today and tomorrow you drop your quality. The 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 the, the delivery of excellence is in the repetition of the quality that you churn out according to standard. So excellence is in the ability to deliver good quality service repeatedly. Means to deliver good service, good quality repeatedly. Excellence means to gain mastery at something or become a master in something profitable. I said this during the introduction. I think of your favorites, actors, singers, musicians, bankers, what have you that you can think of, that you are always excited about their performance, their display, their craft, their art, and you are wowed by their delivery. It is because they have gained mastery at that particular thing. Right? This generation that we are, We are everywhere and we are nowhere. I will explain. We want to do everything, and because of that, we are good at nothing. So we cannot produce excellence. I don't know if you understand. Do you understand that point? Let me see your feedback. We are everywhere and therefore we are nowhere. We are doing everything, hence we are good at none. Let me give you another example. The average young person wants to learn dropshipping, learns Corel Draw, learns graphic design, learns coding, learns AI. What again is there to learn? Product management, project management. Has idea of all of them, but is good at none. That kind of person cannot produce excellence because they are here and there. So they have not gained mastery at something. It will take you a number of years to gain mastery at something. But we want to become masters by taking a crash course of 6 days without practice, without making mistakes, without learning and unlearning and unlearning. And then next month we are off to another course to learn another course. We cannot gain excellence. We cannot gain mastery like that. Okay, so excellence is to gain mastery at something or become a master in something profitable. What is excellence? Excellence is orderliness and not anyhowness. Excellence is orderliness and not anyhowness. What is excellence? Excellence is orderliness and not anyhowness. If you look at our society, we are plagued by anyhowness, right? People just do anything anyhow and accept it to accept it like that. You just want to just accept them like that, just accept it like that, just take it like that, just manage, just manage. The next time I'll do it well. That is not excellence. If you can do it well and right the first time, why are you telling somebody to come the second time before you can do it well for them? Do you understand? If somebody is into a cafe or a restaurant, and the first time you patronize them, the food is salt, and I tell you they are sorry, that next time the salt will be adequate. Why should you wait for a next time to deliver quality? Why not just make the salt adequate the first time? Do you understand? So, and then because they want to pacify your ego, they will tell you that, okay, just accept it today. Because you are going to accept it today, we are going to give you an extra meat, an extra plate on mediocrity. No, that's anyhowness, and that's not excellence. That's not excellence. That's not excellence. That's anyhowness. That's lack of orderliness. Okay, so excellence means orderliness and not anyhowness. Don't wait for the second time to get it right. Get it right the first time. Don't wait for the second time or the next time to make amends. Do it right the first time. So there will be no next time. So you don't start giving excuses. You don't start making giving excuses as to why you fail and try to lobby and beg for pacify them. Our generation is so used to mediocrity, and because somebody wants to gain public sympathy, they'll rather give you for half the price on something that is substandard. Don't do substandard and slash the price. Do quality and give the same price, the best price all the time. Don't do substandard and slash the price. Do you understand? Is that clear enough? Don't do substandard the first time, and because you want to plead with your customer base, your client base, and then you start say, okay, so that they can bear with you, are going to give them half the price, you're going to give them discounts. It's better not to give discount and deliver excellence than to deliver shabby work and start looking for discounts to give. I don't know if you're understanding. Can I get your response, your feedback? I don't know if you understand. Deliver excellence the first time and don't bother to give discounts. Instead of you to deliver shabby job, anyhow job, and start giving discount because you don't want to lose your customer, your client base. Do right always. Do it excellently the first time and retain your customer base. So you don't start apologizing. You don't start explaining and explaining. Okay? Excellence is a mindset. An excellent mind will produce excellent results. This takes us again back to the character issue. The character is a mindset thing. Excellence is a mindset. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 7 says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he, right? Excellence is a mindset. Excellence is a mindset. If your mind is not fixed on producing excellence, no matter how skillful you are, you will not produce excellence. I'll say that again. If your mind is not fixed on producing excellence, no matter how skillful you are, you will not produce excellence. So train your mind, first of all, to be excellent. Train your mind, first of all, to be excellent. Read books, attend classes like this, attend seminars, so that your mind will be renewed. Your mind will be, renewed, will be rewired on the need to produce excellence. So it also means that you should surround yourself with people that are excellent. You should surround yourself with excellent resources. If you are a builder and you design structures, edifices, if you have not seen quality designs, I tell you too, there's no way you're able to think of one. Do you understand? If you are a builder, for example, and you have not seen visually now, with your eyes, seen beautiful structures, magnificent edifices in your lifetime, maybe not physically, but virtually, if you have not interacted with them before in your mind, there is no way you can be able to design such kind of structures because your mind has not been routed to think of such a thing. Your mind has not been routed to think of such a thing. So excellence is a mindset. An excellent mind will produce excellent results. How do you train your mind to be excellent? Look at excellent things. Behold excellent things. If it is in fashion, look at fashionable designs that are excellent. When you want to draw your pattern and career, come out with your own design, you will have no choice. Your mind, because it has been conditioned by excellent features, you will produce such excellent things. But if all you have seen on your lifestyle is mediocre status, mediocre bridges, mediocre cars, mediocre, you will struggle with producing excellence. So deliberately cause your mind to interact with excellent places, excellent features, then you can be able to think excellently. As a man thinks in his heart, remember, so is he. As a woman, as a lady thinks in her heart, so is she. Another example, if as a student all your life you are surrounded by people who always carry F, you will think that that is the norm. You are surrounded by people who never pass exams. You will think that that is the norm. And if you manage to get an E, you think that you have done amazingly well. But if you have mingled and interacted with people that are always having A's, I tell you the truth, your mind will be renewed that there is nothing difficult or difficult with achieving such results. So when it's time for you to produce it at that level, it will come naturally because your mind has been conditioned and routed in that way. So this is a side note. Excellence is not a case of jack of all trades, master of none. Instead, it is to be so good at something till it defines you and make you also name. So I said in two previous slides where I said that our generation, we are we are learning everything, but we are good at none. So this week you are learning product design. Next week you are learning product management. Next 2 weeks you are learning graphic designs. The following week you are learning cybersecurity. You have idea of all of them, but you are good at none. That is not how excellence is formed. Excellence means to take a niche and be so good at it that you become a household name. So think of it, just think football. There are names that will come to your mind. Think music. There are names that will come to your mind. Think ministry. There are names that will come to your mind. Think banking. There are names that will come to mind. Think fashion. There are names that will come to your mind. Think leadership. There are names that will come to your mind. Think speaking, public speaking. There are names that will come to mind. Think lecturing. Your teachers in school, your lecturers in school. There are names that will come to your mind, especially the good aspect. Why? Because these people have so honed their skill and become dedicated to one niche that they have become a household name in it. So excellence does not say that you should be everywhere. It means that you should find something, focus on it, and be so good till you become a household name. I hope that is clear enough. I hope that's clear enough. Okay, some facts about excellence. Number one, excellence is a choice. I think we've established it earlier on. Excellence is a choice. You can choose to be excellent and you can choose to be mediocre. The choice is yours. And whatever choice you make, you will enjoy the benefits or otherwise of it. Excellence is first about being before it is about doing. This is where the mindset shift comes in. If you don't have an excellent mind, you cannot produce an excellent result. Are you still following me? If you don't have an excellent mind, you cannot produce an excellent result. So you have to first be excellent before you do excellence. I hope you understand. You have to first be excellent as a person, as an individual in your mind before you do excellence, right? So your mind has to first of all have been calibrated for excellence before you can produce it out in the works of your hands. Excellence is first about being before it's about doing. It's first about character before it is about competence. Now, competence there is your skill. That quote was made by Dr. Samuel D. the renowned leadership expert, right? Excellence is first about being before it is about doing. It is first about character before it is about competence. So refine your mind. I think I explained this in the previous slide. Refine your mind, refine your mind, refine your mind. Surround yourself with excellence. If you are a designer, just let your phone, your laptop, your room be littered with excellent design. So when you get a job to design something, the creativity will come smoothly. The creativity will come so easily, so fast for you. Okay? The creativity will be top notch for you. All right, so train your mind to be excellent and then you do excellently. Facts about excellence. To deliver excellence, you must first be excellent. To attract excellence, you must first be excellent. I think this has been explained. If you are not excellent, you cannot deliver excellence. This is talk about the mindset stuff, mindset change. And if you want to attract excellence, you must be excellent. Like attract likes in this discourse. If you are an excellent person, you attract excellent results, which will in turn bring you excellent people to partner with you. Excellence is not cheap, but it has the means to afford itself. Excellence doesn't cost, it pays. Dr. Samadiyemi, what does it mean? I explained this earlier where I said, when we're defining the cost of mediocrity. If you deliver excellent results the first time, you don't have to go back to start explaining or trying to make amends for it. Once you have made an amend, once you have done excellent for the first time, you wouldn't worry about it again. Another thing is the training. Once you train yourself to be excellent, the results that training, that discipline will give to you is going to far outweigh the investment in training that you put in. For example, you are seated in this class today trying to learn about excellence. This 2 hours you have invested in this class today will mean that once you start, this class starts yielding results in your life, this 2 hour investment of your time will be very less compared to the results that this class, this training is going to produce for you. So excellence is not cheap, but it has a means to afford itself. Excellence doesn't cost, it pays. Side notes, there's a saying that you can take a person out of the village, but you can't take the village out of a person. It means that location does not change a person's mind, right? If somebody is dirty in the village, going to the city will not automatically make them clean. Okay? If somebody is dirty in the village, going to the city will not automatically make them clean. If you have been in hostels, if you have been in camps where you might have to share a room with certain persons, their conduct in their private lives before you met them in that place is going to show when you come together. So it means that if they were clean people before they got to that camp where you had to share a room together, it will continue there. So going to camp will not automatically change people's behavior. For example, if you have interacted with NYSC camp, you're going to share room with quite a number of persons. Now, if for whatever reason somebody was not clean, not a clean person before they got to that camp, no matter how much they try to package or pretend within 21 days, you will see them for who they truly are because you cannot hide it. So you can take a person out of the village, but you cannot take the village out of them. An excellent person in the village will still be an excellent person in the town, in the city, and vice versa. A shabby, mediocre person in the city will also be a mediocre person in the village. I hope that's clear enough. Okay, excellence has great return on investment. This means that whatever you spend in producing excellence or developing yourself to be excellent, the results of such investments will far outweigh the initial sacrifices or investment made. That has been explained. Quality attracts quality. Likewise, excellence attracts excellence. So we have explained that in previous slide. Quality attracts quality. If you're an excellent person, you produce excellent results. You attract excellence to your life. It means that it's only excellent brands that will interact with you. If you have set a standard, it is people that can afford you that will come to you because of the quality that you churn out. So excellence attracts excellence. Note it takes skill to produce excellence. Proverbs 22, verse 29. You explained that you have to first of all learn the job and be good at it, acquire the skill, then produce excellence with it. And then as a man thinks in his heart, Proverbs 23, verse 7, so the person is. So if your mind is fixed or trained on producing excellence, you will produce excellent results. If your mind is fixed or trained on producing excellence, you will produce excellent results. That's it. So where do you need to exhibit excellence? We will start from the beginning. It has to be an individual choice. Start from your personal life. Start with yourself first. Don't try to teach another person excellence if you have not learned excellence. Start from your personal life. So it means that let's start with the basics. Keep your room clean. Keep your environment tidy. Make sure your clothes are proper. These are just basic things, right? Train your mind to be excellent on your job. Improve yourself. Improve your skill in your career. Improve yourself. Improve your skill. That is how you have to be excellent. If you are not excellent as a person, you cannot be excellent on your job. Okay. If, for example, somebody is not clean in their house, if they give them an office, they are going to mess up their office place too, their work area, because they're going to litter paper, water, all those things, spills around, because they are not excellent on their own. So be excellent, first of all, as a person. You have to exhibit excellence in your personal life. Then that will move you next to the next stage of your life, which is your career. Your career can be your business, your job, your academics, your ministry, your handwork, your skill that you have. The excellence that you have as a person will reflect in your career and your personal life. Yes, if you are not disciplined as a person in your private affairs, you cannot be disciplined on your job because you cannot cheat nature, cannot cheat the system. If you are not disciplined as a human being, if you are not disciplined on the things that you do day to day as a personal person, as an individual, you cannot be disciplined in your career, in your job, in your ministry, and what have you, right? And this is going to show in your relationship. As a person, if you cannot tell yourself the truth and keep it, that takes us to the next point in your relationship. If you cannot promise yourself something and keep it, there is no chance that if you promise another person something, you keep it, you keep your word. That is excellence. Okay, being a person of your word takes skill, takes discipline, takes integrity, which are critical core factors of excellence. Right? So you have to be excellent in your relationship. And then collectively, if we have become excellent people, it is going to reflect in our nation. Right? If you are excellent, if I am excellent in my job, third person is excellent in their business, and all of us gather together and become clusters in our various neighborhood, it is going to reflect in the distribution of excellence in our nation. So we need to go back to our individual selves. Let's be excellent on our own. Let's develop ourselves to be excellent as a people in our thoughts, in our speeches, in our conversation, in our morality, in our intellect. Let's be excellent. That would, when we're excellent as a people, then we will translate such excellence into our jobs, into our careers, And then we translate excellence into our relationships, in our marriages, in our friendships, in our home, in our work relationship. Doing all this will mean that automatically excellence will be exhibited in our nation. If we have broken people in organizations, in our nation, it means that we are going to produce a broken nation, a broken society, a broken community. Okay, is anybody still following me? Can I get your feedback? Is anybody still following me? Okay,
Yes, sir.
everybody's still following me. All right, thank you. Right, so be excellent in your personal life. Look at your job, look at your workspace, look at how you set up your room, your office. Look at how you set up your kitchen, your electronic stand. By that, you can be excellent. There are people's places that you enter and you almost puke. It is unkept, it is smelly, it is scattered, it is littered. You cannot be excellent like that. First, be excellent in the basic things. Dress your bed, keep your notes well, your laptop, don't spill tea on your laptop, right? That is how you cultivate excellence as a person. And if you are good at that, you do some things subconsciously because it has become your nature. When you go to your workplace, your business center, this attitude will easily show forth because you'll be excellent in your business, be excellent in your job, be excellent in your skill, be excellent in the task and assignment given to you. You will not be a struggle. It will take some time to adapt because you're working in a new environment. You start to find a little complex than your immediate house, your environment. But once you have a background of being excellent and being disciplined in your own personal life, before long you will cultivate that nature of excellence in your job, and then it will lead you to visibility and productivity and promotions, and you start generating results. Okay, and then be excellent in your relationship. How do you talk to people? Do you brush them off? Do you delete them? Do you talk down on them? Do you look down on them? Be excellent in your relationship. How do you talk rashly to people? Do you undermine them? Do you dismiss them? How are you look at? Okay, what you cannot take on your own, would you deliver such to people? That's how excellent relationships are. Okay, you have to find excellence as a person, cultivate excellent relationship because these relationships are going to form the bedrock of how you are going to rise. Because it's going to also give you leverage on how to, you know, my, uh, how to advertise yourself, how to advertise yourself. But if you don't have good people skills, you don't have good communication, oral and written communication skills, how do you want to sell yourself to people? You're going to be quarreling with everybody. You're going to be quarreling with your customers. You're going to be quarreling with your clients. You're going to be quarreling with your bosses, your subordinates, because you feel that you're always right. You feel that nobody can. No, that's not the best way. That's not the good way to be excellent. If you don't value relationships, you cannot develop excellent ones. So it means that you have to cultivate good people skills, know how to talk to people, manage your emotions, be emotionally intelligent in your conversations, in your relationship, in your interactions with people. That is how you grow healthy relationship. And I'm not talking just romantic relationship. I'm talking all manner of relationships, father, mother, wife, husband, friends, colleague, boss, partners, and so on and so forth. And then need to exhibit excellence as a nation. But how do we exhibit excellence as a nation? If we have not first been excellent as individuals, if we have not first been excellent in our jobs, we have not first been excellent in our business relationships, we cannot be excellent as a nation. So it is the aggregation of this excellence in these first three clusters that is going to reflect on our national excellence. So let's work on this. Then, how is excellence about? I think it's the last slide. So, second to the last slide. How is excellence through practice and repetition? Through practice and repetition. So it means that today you commit. Then I remember I mentioned the 10,000 hour rule, where you have to have practice and for a certain number of hours before you master. If you look at our organizations, our industries,
Those that are put on training will have to have been on training maybe for 1 year, depending on the organizational structure. Within 1 year, they expect that you should have acquired a certain level of skill. And that it means that you are doing the same thing over and over. Every day you do the same thing. Every day you repeat the same thing until you have gained a level of mastery before you move on to the next stage. That is how excellence is formed, through practice, through repetition. It is boring, but it is the boredom, this is the boring nature of repetitive tasks that excellence is formed. Is that understood? It is in the boring nature of repetitive tasks that excellence is formed. Nobody likes doing the same thing every day, every day. You soon get tired, but it is in that repetition, it's in that routine that you develop excellence. Imagine having to strum your guitar if you are musically inclined, doing the same notes every day until your fingers are flexible. Your mind will not like it. Your body will reject it, quarrel with it, resist it for some time. But it is in the repetition of that particular activity that you gain mastery, ability, skill, right? If you look at training, football trainings where they do off the ball runs and other things, the things are they do the same thing every now and then. What does that do to them? It makes their body light, flexible, keep them fit. So they don't do one thing today and do another thing tomorrow because their body will not understand it. So they have to practice and repeat it, practice and repeat it, practice and repeat it. That is how excellence is. If you see people who have mastered their sport, sorry if I'm using football terms, they have done it over and over and over again. You know, they can even tell the signs and the velocity with the ball for you to hit certain heights. It's in practice and it's in repetition. And that takes us to routine. You have to do the same thing over and over and over and over. Look at your managers. Our managers in our industries, started somewhere, they have done it past repeatedly and repeatedly. So it is easy for them to blend, do the job of a junior league because they've been there before. They are used to it. It is routine. And so excellence is now for in your ability to deliver such routines repeatedly with the same quality. Remember, in our definition of excellence, the ability to deliver quality results repeatedly. So the quality results now is in that routine that you are doing. So if you are going to produce 99.9% rating in your organization, quality in your organization, the ability for you to do that, those routine tasks repeatedly, that you're able to produce excellence. So that is where your standard operating procedures come in. Sorry if I'm using manufacturing terms, if you're not used to it. Your standard operating procedures means that you have to follow them line by line, dutifully, for you to get the same results. And for you to keep that system running, you have to do that task repeatedly, do the routines continuously. Okay. But next way how excellence is formed is through mentorship and structured learning, where you have training, academic, internships, boot camps, management trainees, so that established people are able to pass on their knowledge through guided and structured learning. So you read books of people that are excellent, you study their mind, and then you can imbibe mentorship. You have people going for boot camps. As you have become excellent to pass on this skill, you gather your people that we are trying to do with these discussions. You imbibe this nature, this consciousness into people. So you cannot have this mentorship session and structured learning. You tell you that this is the first step, this is the second step. Right? This is what leadership is all about in our industries. It's what discipleship is all about in our faith, and so on and so forth. Through mentorship and structured learning. Okay, and number 4 way how excellence is formed is through culture. And according to Second 2 verse 2, Paul says this thing that you have learned of me, you have seen me do, you say same to faithful men. Okay, that through culture, that is when an organization, a society has adopted excellence, it will flow from family to family, from organization to organization, from office to office. It becomes the identity of that community. Becomes the identity of that community. So think of any organization you know, and people are doing the same thing because it has become a culture in our organization. So, for example, if you look at some of our banks, they have a dress code. If the fact that you want to work there, they don't even need to tell you, already know automatically that this is how to dress because it has become a culture. Okay, is that understood?
Yes, I
Excellence is passed through culture. Excellence is diffused through culture. Excellence is diffused through culture. And that it is diffused through culture is because it has become a habit, a nature within a people, a nature within a community. So I was given an example of banks. Now some wear red and white, some wear, blue and white, depending on the organizational choice. So how is this imbibed? Once you get into that organization, without even being told, you already know that this is the culture. And because they have to dress a certain way, it becomes a culture. Now, people that have worked in such industries, even after leaving, it now becomes difficult for them to revert back to dressing casually. They have now become used to a certain system of dressing, a certain code of dressing, because they have become used to the culture. So that's how we can create cultures in our culture of excellence in our communities, in our country, in our society, and so on and so forth. Okay. When excellence becomes a culture, to be easily transferable through learning and mentorship. So if a child is born into a house that they have a routine of doing certain things, the child grows up with that mindset. That is culture. The child does not need to go and struggle or start learning new things because the family already has an established culture of what they want to do, how they want to talk, how they want to dress, how they want to, be set their dinner and certain things, rules and regulations, do's and don'ts that they abide with. That is culture. And then when excellence becomes a culture, to be easily transferable through learning and mentorship. So when an organization gathers together and says this is our culture, every new hire blends in easily without struggle. And finally, the end goal of becoming a person of excellence is to add value to people's lives. Why are you studying this course? Why are you participating in this class? It is to become better as a person and transfer that knowledge into making other people's lives better. Okay. I hope you have had an excellent time today. If you had value for your time, can I get your response? I hope you learned something. So if there's any question, let's take them within the next few minutes. All right. Thank you very much. I hope this is what's your time. I hope you have learned something today. I hope you have learned something today. Yes.
For me, I've learned a lot today.